Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the athletic fields here at Milford High School as Milford TV is happy to once again bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call back here at the soccer field for more boys soccer action as the Scarlet Hawks take on the visiting North Attleboro Rocketeers. A very tough test for Milford in what has been a very challenging back half of their schedule, coming right down to the wire in the fall sports regular season, including this game here today. Just 3 matches left on the regular season schedule for the Scarlet Hawks. They come into today's action with an overall record of 6-6-3. They are 6-6-2 within league play. North Attleboro, on the other hand, in first place in those Davenport standings right now, coming into today at 9-1-5 overall, 8-1-5 within Hockomock League competition, and it's been quite a turnaround for this Rocketeers program in this 2017 fall season, finishing in last place in each of the last 4 years. One of those years in the Davenport, the previous 3 when they were still part of the Kelly Rex division, but it has been a long rebuilding process for this boys soccer program, but everything coming together this year and immediately streaking upfield before the ball is immediately poked out of play. North Attleboro finishing the previous 4 regular seasons with 2 wins or fewer. But a different story again, a lot of talent, slowly but surely getting more experience at the varsity level, and it has all paid off with a remarkable season so far for North, and poised to make a good run in the MIAA tournament. Putting the pressure on in the opening minutes against a Milford team who's found themselves a bit frustrated in their last few matches. And Milford able to get the breakout now using the speed of Joey Madden up the far sideline. Now he hesitates. Works the pass now across the field. And now moved along to Tiago Carvalho before getting it on the foot of Wallison de Oliveira, but he has his pocket pick, the turnover. And North Attleboro now back the other way. When we last covered this boys team, it was last Thursday in a match against Foxborough. A lot of speed on this North Attleboro team on display here through these early minutes. Trying to break loose now is number 38, Joe Hilf, a junior and a key offensive contributor. But a lot of the offense on this team goes through their very talented senior, Gabe Pinhakos. He's one of their captains and is widely regarded as the best all-around player in boys soccer in the Hockomock League. And he has lived up to that billing so far this season, leading this team to first place position in the standings late. As that whistle goes against the Scarlet Hawks, still in the opening minutes, 36:40 on the game clock left in this first half action. But talking about that duo on offense for North Attleboro, as we will take a look at some of the offensive statistics in the Hockomock League as we continue on in this first half action. Amongst some of the top scoring leaders in the Hawk, Gabe Pinhakos coming into this week's action with 10 goals, along with an assist for a total of 11 points on the season. Joe Hilf, meanwhile, 6 goals and 2 assists. So those are the 2 top scoring threats in this Rocketeers offense. And of course, on the other side, it's Wallison de Oliveira who continues to lead the way for Milford. 13 goals now on the season with 2 assists. He is 4th in the Hawk in overall points at 15. Getting the scouting report from head coach Brian Edwards prior to this match, it's really going to be Milford's defense that is going to be key to this victory. Pinhakos, in the matchup between these 2 teams earlier this season, went off for a couple of goals in what was a 3-1 victory for North Attleboro. So Coach Edwards saying prior to the game today, look for Leo Coelho to be shadowing Pinhakos all game, and it's going to be his success keeping the star scorer in check that is going to be key to a victory for Milford here this afternoon, so certainly a matchup to watch. Number 8 Penjacos for North Attleboro versus the freshman Leo Coelho for the Scarlet Hawks. As that ball trickles out of play close to the far corner of the field. The toss in will come from North Attleboro's Noah Barney, a senior. A deep toss ends up right on the foot of Madden, who gets the partial clear. North Attleboro's James Sales able to corral it now back in towards the box, and Milford, a little miscommunication on defense, but the ball ends up bouncing their way. But again, North Attleboro's James Sales able to keep play alive on the North attacking side. Now Milford's defense again able to close in, but now it's Zach Matricia. Keeps things going for North. They try to get the quick shot away through traffic, but it deflects off to the left of the Milford net and out of play. Goal kick here from Milford with 33-38 still to go in this first half in the opening 10 minutes. As right now it has been all North Attleboro through these early minutes of play. A couple of deflections and the North defense able to settle it down. They move it forward. And diving in was Coelho. Milford on the move. Good footwork by Andre Oliveira. Eventually gets the pass away to Coelho. Now moving it ahead, trying a little give and go back to Oliveira, but North Attleboro able to sniff it out. Now it's Carvalho along with Leo Coelho, and now a check-in towards net, where it is scooped up easily by the starting goalkeeper for North Attleboro, Brendan Matricia. Now it's Madden trying to protect as that ball made its way back down the far side of the field. More good quick feet for North Attleboro, but that one too far out in front, and as you can see now, the wind really whipping across the field. This wind is going to be a factor throughout this match this afternoon. Gray skies overhead. We're precipitation free right now. It is also very humid conditions. Getting late into the month of October here on October 24th, but temperatures upwards of 70 degrees, high humidity, and again, a lot of wind. So we'll see how that affects, in particular, the corner kicks as this game goes along. Now North playing that one back to their own keeper. It looked like it momentarily caught Matricia by surprise, but is able to send it forward. Now Milford trying to regroup right around midfield. These two teams played a scoreless first half of play in North Attleboro earlier this season. But in similar fashion to what we saw last Thursday against Foxborough, Milford giving up 3 goals in the second half of that game in what was ultimately a 3-1 loss. Milford's defense and goalkeeping very strong throughout this year, but again hitting a bit of a skid over their last 3 games as this ball gets sent on for Oliveira, but the shot attempt wide to the left of the net, so the best look Milford has had so far today. Comes on the foot of Andre Oliveira, but Milford can't capitalize. We continue to play on scoreless. Just about 10 minutes in now to this first half. See that ball just barely staying in place for the goal kick as the breeze continues to blow. Looks like a wind that continues to change directions. You can see the flags at each end of the field continuing to whip back and forth. Right now blowing a bit from right to left. As Milford sends this one on again, trying to hit De Oliveira in stride, but too far out in front, and a chance for the North Attleboro keeper to secure it. We talk about this recent stretch on the season for Milford. They came into that game against Foxborough last Thursday needing just 4 total points over the remainder of the season to guarantee themselves a spot in the playoffs. However, that game resulted in a second straight defeat for Milford after losing to Canton on October 16th, 4-3. Milford allowing 4 goals for a second straight day, losing to Foxborough on the 19th by a final score of 4-1. They then followed that up with a very entertaining game here at home over the weekend on Saturday night under the lights, taking on non-conference Hopedale. Milford had a lead in the second half, but they let it slip away. They settled for a 3-3 draw against the Blue Raiders, so collecting just 1 point over their last 3 matches. So therefore, Milford still in need of 3 points in their last 3 matches of the season to guarantee themselves their first spot in the playoffs since 2013. So a little bit of pressure mounting now in these last days of the season. Play back and forth across the midfield with 27:58 still to go in the first half. North Attleboro staying very tight defensively. Now it's up the field for Jordan Borges. Now De Oliveira into the action, but North Attleboro coming away with possession. Good job poking that ball free by Tiago Carvalho, but only momentarily. Now down into the corner, a full head of steam. It's Vacancho Amenmense. Ball ends up out of play. And a little bit of frustration displayed over on the coaching staff for North Attleboro. The head coach for North is Jeff Burgess. But overall, Coach Burgess, no doubt, very gratified with the progress his program has made. Taking their lumps in their first year in the Davenport Division last season. North Attleboro finished last year 2-10-6 overall. They scored a total of just 15 goals. Played out by the North keeper. And now over the middle for Josh Rodriguez. Back down the near sideline for Milford as Walson De Oliveira hangs close by. Possession will go to Milford here with 25:50 left in the first half. Milford playing the first end of consecutive home games. They'll be right back to work tomorrow. And another night game, a 6 o'clock tilt with non-conference Nipmuc before they close out their regular season in the end of the week on the road against Sharon. So as Coach Edwards talked about before the game, said this is not an easy end of the season schedule for Milford, but he was confident that this group was going to do what they needed to do to come away with 3 points here to earn their spot in the playoffs. Ball up for grabs. Milford the first to settle it. More good aggressive play by Justin Borges, the sophomore. Excuse me, Jordan Borges, the sophomore. North taking their time now, trying to check in towards net, but the kick sailed high, hit off the football uprights. We play on, close to 24 minutes to go in the first half. Still looking for our first goal. Again, De Oliveira just unable to settle that ball down. Milford calmly playing it right at midfield. Tiago Carvalho now trying to find Tiago Philadelphio. Now again, it's Borges. Borges has been a big part of what Milford's been trying to do here so far in the first half. And that time, ball deflects off the back of the leg of Borges, just out of position to receive the pass. Another high booming kick takes a deflection back towards the North Attleboro net. Matricia had to hang with it, but he makes the stop, coming off of his own player. So Milford calming things down here over these last several minutes after pretty strong assault in the attacking side of the field for North Attleboro through the opening minutes. Close to the midway point in this first half action. And now an opportunity here for North, but that one deflects out of play off to the left of the net. And a little bit of frustration on the behalf of Gabe Penhankos. That was his first prime opportunity of the game. Milford now with some room. It's De Oliveira now over the middle, sends the pass towards the far side for Bruno De Oliveira. Leaves it behind, able to go back for it. Now it's poked out of play. Possession stays with Milford, and Madden will come up for the toss-in. 21:20 on the game clock. The whistle going against Milford there as that toss-in came in front of the goal mouth. Looked like it was Andre Oliveira who was the recipient of that whistle from the official. Hard contact right at that far side of the field, right around the 30-yard line. And North Attleboro able to set up here. 20:22 on the clock, looking for the first goal this afternoon. You can start to see some blue skies trying to poke through overhead. It's been pretty gray conditions as this game has gotten underway. Milford unable to quite guide that one away, but the shot attempt right outside the box for North Attleboro goes up and over. I believe that was Joe Hilf releasing that quick, hard shot, but way over the Milford net. And now the goal kick. North Attleboro tries to go right back on the attack. Joey Madden intercepting that pass. And now it's Borges up ahead. They tried to move it along for De Oliveira, but North Attleboro denies. And the deflection out of play off of Zachary Brown, who just checked into the game for the first time. Claudio De Oliveira waiting to check into this game as well. Now De Oliveira, the quick pass ahead for Tiago Carvalho, now for Philadelphia. Tries to play the deflection and cannot keep it from going out of play. Taking a look at some of the last couple of games for North Attleboro, just off of 2 straight home games that both ended in victories for the Rocketeers. A 3-1 win back on October 17th against Sharon, and a 4-1 victory over the Stoughton Black Knights on October 19th. The one and only loss so far on the season for North Attleboro came on October 11th on the road against King Philip. KP, one of 2 double-digit win teams over in the Kelly Rex division. Here's Milford now after the toss-in into the freshman Coelho. Trying to get some short, quick passes up the field. Now back to Coelho. Jordan Borges couldn't quite absorb that pass. Now it's to Madden. As we tick down to 17 minutes to play. Milford plays it back to their defense. Claudio Da Silva into the game. He tried to weave his way around James Sales. This is mostly a senior and junior heavy group for North Attleboro. As we mentioned, this is a team that the nucleus has been here together for the last few years. And with each year, the improvement has been there, perhaps not in the win column, but certainly this group getting more and more experienced, more and more confident, and just really seeing a lot come together for this season. Now Milford trying to get a quick shot away, but it was blocked on the attempt by Claudio Da Silva. Another goal kick for North Attleboro with 15:47 on the game clock. Milford the first to play it. Jake Balzerini sending it forward. Now the no-look pass to Borges. Borges again. And he releases the shot, and that one just barely sails up over the net as Borges continues to be a major factor in this first half. They've been continuing to feed him the ball, and you can see a lot of good quick moves out of Borges here today. That one resulting in a pretty good look on net. Like he may have caught North Attleboro a little bit by surprise, sending that one in from long range, but again, just up and over. And so it's still a scoreless tie with 14.5 minutes to go in the first half. A chance for Milford to make a statement here late in the season. A win would leave them 1 point shy of a playoff berth. They certainly hope to come away with no worse than a draw here this afternoon. Not wanting to see another opportunity to come closer to that playoff spot go by the boards, despite facing a very tough opponent. D'Oliveira opts to play it back to Madden. Madden gets bumped off the ball. Good play by Jeff Gale, senior forward for the Rocketeers. Board just couldn't quite get to that one as James Sales takes it across the field. And now Zach Matricia moves it along to Ryan Pasquale. It's Penhancos and Pasquale, the two senior captains, leading this North Attleboro squad. Or just breaking up the strike up field. North recovers, and now Milford able to poke it back towards midfield. Jumping into that play was Trea. And now, again, Brian Trea trying to quickly accelerate up the near sideline. And the whistle goes against Milford, as we saw Sales end up on his backside, and now North Attleboro with the kick downfield at 12:38 to go in the first half. Some physical play starting to ramp up between these two teams as we get into the later stages of this first half. The thick cloud cover continues to hover overhead, just a momentary sighting of some sunshine, but that has faded away, so it appears that it'll continue to be dreary conditions through the duration of this one this afternoon, with that wind continuing to really whip across the field. See now really howling hard from right to left across the playing surface. It's certainly a factor for that toss in for Milford. Tiago Philadelphia trying to send that one against the wind. And another substitution on the Milford side. It's João Pedro da Silva. Freshman checks into the game, now one of two freshmen on this varsity squad. He was a late addition in the season to the varsity roster. Leo Coelho, the other freshman, of course, who's been on this varsity squad since day one of the year. Milford shoots it across the field for Joey Madden. Usually very sure with the ball in his direction, but that time letting it squirt free, and North Attleboro eventually able to send it downfield, but now it ricochets back towards center where it's played by Da Silva. Aggressive for Kevin Aguilar, shooting that one forward. A North Attleboro player shaken up right around the middle of the field, and the ball played out of bounds, and training staff coming out with just over 10 minutes to go. Rain starting to fall here as well. We will pause briefly for the injury timeout. We'll have the conclusion of this first half action when we come back next here on Milford TV. Set to resume action now after the injury timeout. Just about 10 minutes left in this first half, a scoreless game between Milford and North Attleboro. The injured North Attleboro player, Jeff Gale, able to get off the field under his own power after getting checked on by Jonathan Raskow, the athletic trainer here in Milford. Of course, while we have a moment, we do want to welcome in all of our viewers checking out today's action via our live stream feed. Once again, bringing you live streaming internet coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. If you happen to be checking out the game on YouTube or on our Milford TV educational channel, make sure you stay close to our social media accounts. We always announce when we're going to go live with sports coverage. We always do so on our educational live stream feed. You can find that on our website, milfordtv.net, or also you can download the live stream app on your mobile device. As we see players tangled up across the middle of the field, Leo Coelho, one of those players involved, as the whistle goes against the Scarlet Hawks with 8:50 to go on the game clock. And once again, it was Coelho tangled up with Gabe Pinhunkos. That matchup that Coach Edwards alerted us to before the game. So far in this first half, Coelho doing a good job of limiting the offensive chances. And now a quick shot. Again, this time for James Sales. But up over the net. And we play on scoreless. Light rain starting to fall moments ago, sending umbrellas up around the field for the hardy spectators here in less than ideal weather conditions, taking in this late season boys soccer action. And late in the first half now with just over 7.5 minutes to go. And this time it's João Pedro da Silva able to wrestle the ball away from Pinhunkos. Gabe Pinhunkos that time just sending it downfield, no one home, and the ball ends up rolling out of play on the far side, and that sends a series of substitutions out on the field now for both sides. Fresh legs onto the field for this final stretch of the first half. And a high five for Coach Edwards to Claudio da Silva. Good work out on the field. It's been a strong defensive effort for Milford throughout this first half. Balzerini can't keep it in on the far side. Toss-in coming up for North Attleboro, under 6.5 minutes on the clock. And deflected out by Jordan Borges, and this will be a corner kick now, our first corner kick of the half. Will be taken by North Attleboro from the far side. The wind easing up a bit just in time for our first corner kick, and a couple of chances right in front of the net. It looked like North Attleboro trying for the redirect with the header, but nothing doing on that trip. It was Zach Matricia with the first opportunity at it, but Milford ultimately able to get the clear. Now Ryan Pasquale passes backwards. Matricia now loses it. Here's De Oliveira trying to send it along for Andre Oliveira, but too far out in front. Now Milford again trying to quickly get some numbers upfield. Jordan Borges sending that pass to nowhere. And the North Attleboro keeper now sends it back toward the midfield. Milford again trying to move it ahead, this time for Wallace and De Oliveira. And Milford lets that one go. Chance to toss it in as we are about to go under 4 minutes to play in the first half. North Attleboro can't keep it in. Coelho again staying close to Pinjuncos. And Milford once again lets it roll out of play. It will be a goal kick. Both these teams trying to break the deadlock before we reach halftime. Milford faced a 1-0 deficit heading into the half against Foxborough last Thursday before allowing 3 second-half goals. Milford had at one point narrowed the deficit to 2-1, but Foxborough ultimately building the lead back out to 4-1. Now down to the corner, but Joe Hilf could not get there in time. Now the kick awarded to North Attleboro here late. Pasquale looks like we'll take it. In towards Pinjuncos. And trying to head it in, and North Attleboro able to get the second chance effort to go. It looked like Zach Matricia was there for it. Indeed, number 28, Zach Matricia with the header. And so with just 2 minutes and 11 seconds to go, North Attleboro able to strike first to take the lead. So after just about 38 minutes of scoreless play, North Attleboro able to create an opportunity in these closing stages. So now we are under 2 minutes to play. Milford now trying to find a way to answer back without much time left on the clock. And now this time it's Joe Hilf with a head of steam up the far side. Before the ball goes out of play, and Milford with the quick toss in, deflected by North. Now Madden sends it on the ground right back in the direction of Andre Oliveira. And now here's Oliveira trying to win that ball. But the whistle goes against Milford as Matricia, the goal scorer, ended up on the ground. up over the head of Joey Madden. Back to Borges. Shoots a long pass, trying to find Andre Oliveira. And the whistle going against Milford. That play unfolding right in front of Coach Edwards on the sideline, who immediately felt the contact was initiated on the North Attleboro side. The head coach frustrated after the call. And there is the final whistle of the half. So that is how things come to an end here in half number one. A late goal with just about 2 minutes left to play for North Attleboro. Zach Matricia able to get North Attleboro on the scoreboard as now some heavier rains start to come down just as the teams break for the half. We will break for halftime as well, and we will have some soggy second half action to bring you when we come back next here on coverage of Milford High School boys soccer on Milford TV. Welcome back inside Milford High School. Second half action now underway between Milford and North Attleboro in this boys soccer showdown. North Attleboro getting a goal with just 2 minutes and 11 seconds left in the first half. It was Zach Matricia able to give North Attleboro the only goal of the first half. So a 1-0 lead for North here as we are back underway. Milford now trying to attack from left to right across your television screens. Rain starting to fall right at the end of the first half. It has been intermittent rain throughout the game so far, but coming down about as hard as it has since the game started. And the wind continuing to be a factor as well, so conditions not great throughout this game this afternoon as Milford plays it back to their keeper, and Orellana a little bit surprised, but he was able to get there. And certainly late pointing out that it is Josh Orellana, the junior, in net for Milford here this afternoon. Luke Capobianco getting a rest. Perhaps Coach Edwards just wanting to give Capobianco a bit of a breather after allowing 11 goals in the last 3 games for the Scarlet Hawks. And meanwhile, an early free kick opportunity for the Rocketeers just 2 minutes in to the second half. Fired in high over the net off the foot of Gabe Pinhancos. Have not heard Pinhancos' name mentioned much in the offensive attack for North Attleboro so far, so that is certainly a credit to the defensive work being done by Leo Coelho. Joey Madden pushing that one along, trying to hit Wallace and De Oliveira. De Oliveira also has not been much of a factor out there, so far both teams able to neutralize the leading offensive force on each side. In a moment, we'll take a look at the Hockomock League standings in both the Davenport and the Kelly Rex division here with just less than a week to go in the regular season. Most teams will have their regular season schedules wrapped up by either Thursday or Friday of this week. Madden trying to keep this ball in play, but racing onto the scene was Dylan Corrigan. And now Coelho ends up with it as a full-out downpour starts to commence out on the field. We'll see how these teams start to handle now the slicker conditions out on the field, as now North Attleboro checks in on net for Milford, but a save made by Orellana. The rain lightens back up a bit. As now we look at those Davenport Division standings, as we've mentioned throughout the broadcast, North Attleboro in first place position. Although it is a close race atop the standings, Foxborough has really been on a roll here over the last 2 weeks of the season. They are now 10-4-2 overall, and just a point behind this North Attleboro team. So we mentioned it when we called that Foxborough game last week. That Warriors team is not the team you want to be playing here in this final stretch of the season. North Attleboro with the highest scoring offense in the Davenport Division, 35 goals scored. Then it is North off of the corner kick. It's broken up initially by Milford. Now sent back out to the corner, tried to play it on by Ryan Pasquale. As the ball again ends up out of play. And this time the toss in for North, as the rain and wind have knocked the flag down in that far corner of the field. Take a look at the American flag off by the tennis courts here at the athletic fields, almost fully extended. Three times, Tiago Carvalho trying to head that ball forward for the Scarlet Hawks. And now finally he'll take it in with his feet. Played onto the far sideline. Defended well by James Sales. You can see now Milford quickly trying to dry the ball off before sending the toss in. After a couple of heavy downpours, the field turf now no doubt very slick. The ball continuously slick, as it's a nice play right to the end for Joe Hilf. Right at the end, trying to slip that one in past Orellana, but he was prepared. Just under 33 minutes left in the second half. And North Attleboro again, they try for the centering pass. Milford breaks it up now again. Noah Barney, and now deflected up and in. And eventually the hard work pays off. And it was Gabe Pinhankos who was there, number 8. He gets the second North Attleboro goal of the game. So Gabe Pinhankos now makes it a 2-0 North Attleboro lead with still 32:44 to play. And you really have to credit Noah Barney, who stayed with that play in the near corner, eventually setting it up for the goal scoring leader on this North Attleboro team. And now timeout is taken on the field. So that clock continues to be halted with 32:44 to play as Pinhankos nets his 11th of the season, gives North Attleboro a 2-0 lead. We'll pause for the timeout as well. We'll be back with more in a moment here on Milford TV. What kind of response will we see from the Scarlet Hawks, now trailing North Attleboro 2-0? Milford still 3 points shy of a possible playoff berth After this game, they will have just 2 matches remaining in their season. And still a long way to go in the second half, over 32 minutes remaining. And you can see now even the frustration on behalf of Coach Edwards, as he wanted to see a whistle there. Milford has really owned this matchup against North Attleboro in their recent meetings. Outside of the victory for North earlier this season is now De Oliveira, and he will draw the whistle there, as finally the whistle goes Milford's way. Good pass, that time hitting De Oliveira in stride. So we'll get back to those previous meetings in a moment. First, the free kick for Milford's leading scorer. And sends it on the ground, and North Attleboro immediately deflects it. And so nothing doing that time for the Scarlet Hawks. So prior to the start of this season, Milford, again, losing the first meeting between these two teams earlier this year. They had enjoyed a pretty healthy track record of success. Again, bodies flying again down in that far corner of the field. The whistle going against Milford this time. Back in 2016, Milford sweeping the season series, a 2-0 victory here in Milford, and a 2-1 win at North Attleboro. And prior to the 2016 season, of course, this was not a division rivalry, with North Attleboro still operating in the Kelly Rec. So in single meetings in 2015 and 14, Milford with victories 4-2 and 2-1 respectively. So it had been a 4-game winning streak that was broken back on September 28th of this year, with North enjoying that 3-1 win. And now the Rocketeers in control with 30 minutes to go in this match, up 2-0. Milford trying to find a spark. North calmly playing it over the middle. Once again, the rain has subsided for the most part. And now a quick strike and a diving save made by Orellana, and now the ball deflected out to the near corner. Full out dive, and Orellana able to make the stop. And Rocketeers dangerously close to another score. And now streaking up ahead once more. North Attleboro on the attack with Dylan Corrigan that time, but keeper able to come out to make the play. .28-31 on the second half game clock, as Penjuncos moves this one along forward. Now a line drive kick from Orellana, trying to find Claudio Da Silva. Seen very little in the way of offense for Milford so far this afternoon. Good sliding play that time. And allows Milford to get a quick push upfield. And a nice give and go. Heider Silva now in the corner, able to clear himself, gets the pass away to Wallison de Oliveira, but the deflection, and North Attleboro right back upfield. So a promising looking play in the making for Milford, and credit to Heider Silva to get that started. Now again, Milford needing to create some more opportunities like that in the next 27 minutes. Trying to use that nice save moments ago by Josh Orellana as a turning point in a game that has been thoroughly dominated by North Attleboro. Now Joe Hilf sends it along and just able to get the hands on it. Was Orellana, he couldn't secure it. And so that will lead to a corner kick chance. Taken on the near side this time. Now a line drive, drifting past the goal mouth and eventually into the hands of Orellana. North Attleboro the first to get to that. You can hear some of the chatter from the coaching staff down at field level from Milford, wanting to see this team get a little bit more aggressive. Silva couldn't quite make the play that time. It drifts out now just in front of the North Attleboro bench with under 25.5 minutes to play. Play back out across center. And now sent in a little bit too far out in front to be played by Josh Rodriguez, who was streaking down into that corner for the Rocketeers. Right back to Orellana. Huge kick that time from the Milford keeper. Once again, the Scarlet Hawks trying to feed their leading scorer. And contact again generated by Milford, and you could see the frustration starting to show through on some of these players out there on the field. This team perhaps pressing a bit here late in the season with the struggles in their last 3 games, losing back-to-back games for just the second time this season on October 16th and 19th, and then following that up with the tie against Hopedale. Wanting to get back in the win column. Their last win came on October 13th against Stoughton. With 23:20 left in the second half, time starting to become a factor. Popped up towards net, but again, it's Orellana who stays calm, makes the play. Now lofts a very high kick in the direction of Silva. Now deflected to Coelho, who plays it on for Wallison de Oliveira. Quickly taking a look at the Kelly Rec standings while we have a minute. It is Mansfield who leads the way. Actually in a virtual tie with Mansfield. Oliver Ames at 10-2-3 overall, Mansfield at 9-2-5, but both teams with 23 points overall on the season. The only difference is in that league record. One more point within league play for the Oliver Ames Tigers as Milford tries to center it up. Now it's De Oliveira who sends it off the side of the net. Milford making that happen out of nowhere. And a good look for De Oliveira, but he sends it off that right side of the net. Meanwhile, Jordan Borges waiting to check back into the game. Borges was a good energy player for Milford in the first half. So Borges back out there taking the place of Brian Trea. Milford will have a chance to toss it in on the attacking side as we approach 20 minutes to play. Into De Oliveira. Madden trying to play it. Now back out to the top of the box. Milford not quitting. It was Coelho. Looked like he was maybe going to get a shot off, but North Attleboro able to clear it. More frustration on offense for the Scarlet Hawks. Now Borges back into the game. Quick strike upfield. Hyder Silva now deflects it. The shot attempt for De Oliveira is high. So it's Borges and Silva who create another good opportunity for Wallace and De Oliveira, but this time he sends it high. Now Borges again, Milford trying to go right back to work. Starting to see some better energy. Now De Oliveira sends it through. Milford gets it past the keeper and in. And the Hawks on the scoreboard. It was Andre Oliveira. And with 19:28, Milford finally rewarded. We've seen it a couple of better sequences upfield. With 19:28, it's now a 2-1 score, so Milford right back in it. And Coach Burgess irate on the sidelines, coming all the way to the 50-yard line, screaming. Not happy at all, allowing Milford to have some life here in the second half. So Andre Oliveira with the goal. So that's Oliveira's second goal of the season. Wallace and De Oliveira, the scoring leader by far for Milford with 13. Then it is Anthony Salvador with 4. And now Borges, Jordan Borges, along with Andre Oliveira with 2. And single goals for Tiago Philadelphio and Leo Coelho. So 2-1, North Attleboro still leads with 18:05 now left in the second half. And Milford needing to keep the pressure on here for the first time, getting North Attleboro back on their heels a bit. That one gets past Balzerini, but Orellana will scoop it. And this ball taking a good Milford bounce. Hyder Silva now plays it forward, but North Attleboro able to settle it. And they clear it back upfield. Now Balzerini getting back into the corner. Lets that ball roll out of play. A goal kick for Milford with just about 17 minutes to go. Not a great kick that time by Orellana, but Milford able to get it as far as center before North Attleboro dumps it back in. Good play forward by Tiago Carvalho. Now Coelho shooting it down towards the corner, and this will force the keeper to come out for North to play it. Brendan Matricia. Milford trying to carry it across center. Claudio Da Silva bumped off the ball. It goes out of play with 15:55 to go. North awarded the kick. Taken by Noah Barney. And now another shot attempt for the Rocketeers. Balzerini wasn't able to get it out. And North capitalizing.
Nice ball,
and so it was Penhancos again. He gets his second of the second half. So he scored twice against Milford in the win back on September 28th, and now 2 goals for the senior here. This one coming with 15.5 minutes to play, and once again, Milford faces a 2-goal deficit. A loss in this game this afternoon for Milford would mean that they would need no less than a win and a tie out of their final 2 matches to qualify for the playoffs. But still time left, 14:44, but after Milford had just cut the deficit to 1 moments ago, North Attleboro able to regroup. Now Silva up the near sideline. He has some space, continues to carry it forward, now tries to thread the pass ahead to De Oliveira, but nothing doing that time. Now right back to Silva. He bumps it along for Leo Coelho. Eventually gets it back. And now dumping this one forward, and again Milford trying to feed the junior Hyder Silva. And Milford meanwhile with their first corner kick chance of the second half. Here's Borges.
Nice, Noah.
But off the deflection, North Attleboro able to break it out. And all kinds of space in front for Jeff Gale. Conditions really starting to get dark now out on the field. The light's not on here, but with the thick cloud cover, it's been a little bit of everything in this match. Wind, rain, now darkness starting to set in. And out there on the field, just 12 minutes and 53 seconds remain on the game clock. North Attleboro taking their time here as they set up for the kick. It's deflected off the header, out of play. Milford with substitutions on the field. Silva to the sidelines after doing some good work out there offensively. Now that pass beyond the reach of De Oliveira. Deflected out of play by Tiago Philadelphio, and North Attleboro with the toss in. Under 11 and a half minutes, I should say, to go here in the second half. Now Borges. And that one gets past the North defense. Now Wallace and De Oliveira makes one move, and the keeper able to get a piece of the shot by De Oliveira. Maybe hesitated a moment too long. Good deflection from Milford. De Oliveira was there. Again, maybe just a step or two too late on the shot attempt, and it allowed the keeper to get position to deflect the shot, and the defense there behind in support, able to clear it out. Now Borges surveying the field. Takes it up himself before dishing the pass off towards the far side of the field, about to go under 10 minutes to play. And good idea there, but that pass out of the reach of João Boaventura. Played deep now for North Attleboro. Milford able to recover. Claudio Da Silva with a good play. Now Borges to Boaventura. Noah Barney trying for the clear. Now Coelho takes it to the edge of the box, releases a shot that was deflected hard by North. Now Coelho gets it back, shoots it past the keeper, but just wide to the right of the net. And the freshman trying to make a play here late to get Milford back in it. Silva right back out there, able to get position. And Milford now upping the tempo as the second half clock winds down to 8 minutes to play. This deflects back to Coelho. Coelho, a good pass, now another shot attempt and a save made by Brendan Matricia. If you listen to the sideline on the North Attleboro side, you would not know that North has a 2-goal lead here with 7.5 minutes to go. Continues to be some sharp words from the North Attleboro coaches. Madden up ahead for Silva. Silva takes some contact. Now a shot attempt for Tiago Carvalho, but that one bends wide. Goal kick for the Rocketeers with 6:50 left on the clock. Nice footwork for Claudio da Silva. Now forced to play it back. Now Coelho trying to send that one along for Silva. It was deflected along the way. Now a sliding play for the freshman. Dumps it down towards the corner. Borges there, trying to stay in it. And that drifts out, last touched by the Hawks. Good effort once again by the sophomore Jordan Borges. Milford trailing by a pair with now just 5.5 minutes left. A tough deflection that time, trying to power through for North Attleboro was J.D. Molson. It's Coelho taking his time. That sends a bad pass. It's picked off by North. Now Coelho ends up on the turf as North takes it up the far side of the field before it's eventually played out. Milford will close out their home schedule here tomorrow against Nipmuc before traveling to Sharon at the end of the week. What position will they be in for those final 2 games? North Attleboro now loses control of the ball. Evan Rosenberg thought he might have been tripped up, no whistle, as Milford pushes it along. Here's De Oliveira, he wins it, takes the shot, and the save made. Now the second chance, and that finds its way into the back of the net, as now we see a lot of pushing and shoving after the goal scored. And we're going to see an immediate yellow card. So Andre Oliveira scores the goal, then races in to collect the loose ball, and some pushing and shoving on both sides. We'll see. Looks like a yellow card will be issued on the North Attleboro side as well. Things breaking down into chaos here as Milford scores the goal to cut it to a 3-2 score. As now discussion taking place with both officials and a group of North Attleboro players just outside the north goal. Meanwhile, Andre Oliveira scoring his second goal here of the second half, and then receives a yellow card for the extracurricular activity. Cannot quite tell if there was a yellow card issued on the North Attleboro side as well. The other official went over, took the yellow card out of his pocket. Didn't see it clearly issued. So it looks like perhaps it was issued to Andrew Fontaine, who will now get replaced here. So 4 minutes and 19 seconds to play, and the animosity really ratcheting up here between these two teams late. And we'll see how that manifests itself in terms of the play on the field. Milford once again cutting it down to a 1-goal deficit. And the fans are lively now, both benches engaged. Silva keeps control, now tries to send that one back towards Coelho. He'll have to race back to track it down. Now pushes it forward along the far sideline. Does Milford have enough time to send in the equalizer? Meanwhile, Andre Oliveira will now come back out onto the field. For getting their personnel situated. Now the ball back in play. As Milford sends it on, ends up right into the midsection of Matricia, who hangs on. Under 3 minutes left to play. A 3-2 score. North Attleboro now suddenly clinging to the lead. Milford with a late surge here, but is it too late? Played forward by Oliveira. Came into this game with just 1 goal scored on the season, but has now netted a pair here today. Both of them coming in the second half. Madden and De Silva with some trouble settling that ball down. North Attleboro able to poke it loose, but now Milford right back on the go. Coelho surveys his options, dumps it over to Borges. Now Silva sends it right back. Borges through a crowd, gets denied, gets it right back on his foot. Under 2 minutes left to play as Borges gets tripped up. And so the drama continues here. What a fabulous finish to this Davenport Division contest. Key play as Milford will have the free kick with less than 2 minutes to go. Appears that Jordan Borges will take it. Here we go. And a hard deflection. Madden sends it back into traffic. That takes a hop out of play off of North. Not much time left. And the high toss deflects right back to him. He heads it down. Carvalho tries to keep it in play. It goes out of play. And North will take over. Coach Burgess will send in a late substitution with just seconds to go in the second half. Milford with a couple of opportunities here very late to tie the game. And now possession goes back to Milford. Can they get something organized here in the closing seconds? That one rolls free, partially cleared. Milford's Tiago Philadelphos steps in to try to keep it alive. And now sent along deep, Orellana waiting for it. And there is the final whistle. So North Attleboro just barely able to hold on. Milford able to get 2 goals from Oliveira here in the second half. The second one coming with just 4 minutes and 19 seconds to play, with some pushing and shoving after the play. And a physical fight to the finish between these two teams, but Milford unable to overcome the deficit, so they fall here to North Attleboro by the final score of 3-2. So again, looking ahead at this final stretch for Milford, they will be right back here on the soccer field in Milford tomorrow for a 6 o'clock matchup with Nipmuc before closing out the season on the road against Sharon. They will need to come away with 3 points in those final 2 matches if they hope to come away with a playoff berth into the upcoming MIAA tournament. So we'll continue to follow along with the team to see if they can get it done here in the final 2 games. In the meantime, we bring a close to some exciting coverage of boys soccer here this afternoon. For Rob O'Keefe, I am Tim Coet. That final score, one final time, a 3-2 victory for North Attleboro over the Milford Scarlet Hawks. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.